Hey everyone, Zeph and Moses, the live streamer here, and today I am playing around with the Obsbot AI-powered tracking camera, but I'm also playing around with the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. So Obsbot has been generous enough to send me a UVC to HDMI adapter, this little box here. It's a UVC to HDMI. And what this does is this essentially takes the USB connection from the Obsbot camera, converts it into an HDMI signal, and still allows you to use this camera with a remote. So you can use this as a little pan tilt camera. And the quality on this has been very interesting to me because it's definitely a step above some of the webcams that we've seen. This camera is capable of 4K. Obviously 4K is not going to go into an ATEM Mini Extreme that is 1080, but I wanted to also see and play around with maybe does the USB output of the ATEM get converted into HDMI if we use this little device from Obsbot. That's just a little secondary test there. So what I've done is I've taken, this is our UVC converter. It's this tiny little box. For reference, it's almost the same size as the camera. Same height, same width, and it has a few plugs. One, there's a USB-C for power. That's running to a little power that I've just hidden back here so we can power that up. There is a USB adapter that connects to the remote, and then there is a USB-C cable that goes to the camera. So we're gonna get the camera plugged up here and let that boot up because that might take a second. I'm going to point this towards me because it's an AI auto tracking camera. So as this boots up, it's going to find my face and start to track me. And then what I want to do is turn on our monitor and take an HDMI connection. So I've already run an HDMI cord to this monitor, to HDMI input 1. I'm going to run it directly into this USB converter, which converts that signal to HDMI. The camera is booted up now, and look at that. You can see my signal right here on the screen. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. We're going to use the remote. Look at that. We're going to tilt up. So you can see here I have full control over this webcam as a pan tilt zoom camera. I've got zoom. I can switch between multiple devices. There's some presets. There's up, down, left, right. So I've got a full control here. There's also a track button on the very top. So let me hit track and let's see. So now the Obsbot camera is tracking me because I told it to with the remote. And what we could do is potentially bring in this little sub $300 camera into the ATEM as an input because it is now outputting HDMI. Now, one quick thing you're going to notice here is that there is a slight delay. So if you're looking at the monitor down here to the side versus me talking, you're seeing a very slight delay. So let's do a little. So you can see it is off by a few frames. So one of the things that you want to consider here is that if there's any delay, you're going to have to use either just this camera or you're going to need to kind of adjust for that or use multiple of these cameras. So where could this be a good thing to use? Potentially if you wanted to use this as just a PTZ tracking camera that, if you wanted to put this really high up on a light stand and use it as like a wide shot or something and just be able to point the remote and quickly tweak where that shot is. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more affordable than say dropping $600, $700, $800, $1,000 on a DSLR, maybe that's a good option for you. I do also think that this could be a good option if you're looking to use this webcam, say with Zoom or something like that, but you also want to be able to record just higher quality stuff. So if you wanted an HDMI out into a Shogun recorder, a HyperDeck recorder, something of that nature. Now, this is kind of the key feature of what this was made for. It seems to be working really, really well. That delay is something that I think we need to take into consideration depending on our usage case. But again, a $300 camera that is PTZ based so that you don't have to go drop a ton of money, really nice quality. I think this could be a good option for you. So now what I want to do is actually take that same HDMI out signal and instead of sending it into this monitor, I want to send it into the ATEM and see what the ATEM sees. So it looks like if we take the USB connection out of our ATEM Mini Extreme, I'm taking it into the Obsbot converter. This is our UVC to HDMI converter. HDMI cable is going into the monitor. We're now getting the USB connection from the ATEM converted into an HDMI feed. So this was kind of that interesting test that I wanted to make. Wasn't really sure if it was going to work, but it looks like it does indeed work. So a unique tool that could be used maybe in an ATEM Mini Pro setup or something where you don't have a second, or you don't have a way to output that second display. You could be outputting over the USB into the Obsbot UVC to HDMI converter and take an HDMI out into a display. So that could potentially give you two displays. You just have to know that there's probably going to be a slight delay in that signal, as you can see here. So you can see it's off by a couple of frames. But that was a unique kind of side effect to testing this out. I'm excited for what Obsbot is doing. I think it would be very interesting to have, say, maybe 3 or 4 of these all connected to an ATEM, because at that price point, you'd be able to sit there and control them with their little remotes and move them around. But just knowing that this little thing is also possible to take the USB connection out of the ATEM into the Obsbot converter and send that along as HDMI just is it's very neat to see that people are making these, because I know that that was something that people were always kind of curious in, was could you take the USB-C output of an ATEM, convert it to HDMI? Well, the answer is absolutely yes with this little device here from Obsbot. So again, I'm going to list this down below in the description. It's been very neat to play around with this. It's been very cool to test out this little AI tracking camera. I've been using it now for my zooms just into my computer. Again, this will be down below in the description. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, if you want to see me hack together some more cool things and try to push the limits of what things were made for, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button below, and we'll see you next time.